Hi everybody, welcome to my church. This is Old South Union Church in Weymouth. I'm here busy getting ready for an organ recital on Sunday at 2 p.m. I thought it would be nice to give you kind of a sneak preview of some of the pieces I'm playing. I'm thinking of it as a 3-course meal. There's 3 large pieces, one by Bach, one by Mendelssohn, and one by Messiaen, and then 2 sorbets or soups, if you would, that are going to come in between the 3 large pieces. So let's talk first about the Bach. So for those of you that have followed any of my past performances, you know that I'm really into Bach. I think he's kind of the man. He wrote so much fantastic music, both for organ, piano, and many other instruments besides. So some of you know that this past year I was involved in a big Bach recording project where I recorded a whole bunch of the preludes and fugues for piano. So you might think that if you're familiar with the piano preludes and fugues, you might have a good idea of what you're getting into with the organ fugues. Sort of. They're still fugues, they're still preludes and fugues, but they're a completely different character, which is specifically to say the organ fugues are way more fun than the piano fugues. One of my friends likes to say that the organ fugues are like the piano fugues in drag. They're just a lot more outrageous, a lot more extroverted. They show a lot more personality, and they're a lot less cerebral than the piano fugues are sometimes. One of the things that's particularly fun about the organ fugues is watching to see when the feet come in. Are they going to manage to do everything that the hands can do? Let me play the subject of the fugue that I'm going to be playing at this concert. I just want you to hear the subject. It's really happy. So let's take a listen to the whole opening section, and I want you to watch and see if the feet are able to do everything that the hands can do. So we come to the final piece on the program, and before I go too much further, I do want to say that not all the pieces on my program are huge, loud, angry organ pieces. I am playing some smaller pieces in between. I'm just not going to talk about them in this video. So the final piece on the program is by the 20th century French composer Olivier Messiaen. If you've never heard of him, or even if you have heard of him, he's a fascinating person. He had the same church job in Paris for almost his entire life at La Trinité. He was taken prisoner in World War II. He fought for the French. He was taken prisoner by the Nazis. When he was being held in the prisoner of war camp, he wrote one of his most famous pieces, which is the Quartet for the End of Time. He was also just really, really good with titles. He was really good at titling his pieces. His music is influenced by so many different things. He was really interested in religion and spirituality. He was a very devout Catholic. Nearly all of his pieces have some kind of religious inspiration or religious title attached to them. He was also really interested in the classical music of India, and particularly the rhythms of India, which I can't really go into them into too much detail here, but they're very, very exciting, very different from what we use in the West, and they're very complex. So that, you might hear some complicated rhythms in his stuff. It's very, very exciting. What else is he into? He was also a fairly good ornithologist or bird watcher. Nearly every summer of his life he spent cataloging bird songs, which he would try to notate as best as he could in organ pieces. One of his largest pieces for the piano is called the Catalog of the Birds. It's a huge collection of different bird songs. And you will hear nearly every piece he writes, bird songs work their way in there somehow in one form or another. I'm attracted to his music because it's just so unlike anything you'll ever hear. I think it's just so colorful, it's so crazy, it's sort of radiant, and it has a sort of explosive spirituality to it. It's just, it overflows with feeling, which is something I really like about it. So the piece I'm playing is Dieu parmi nous, which means God among us. It's one of his most famous and most well-known pieces, and it's the last movement of a series of 9 pieces that he wrote about the Nativity. And this he really sees as a summation of the Nativity. It's like a big party of everyone coming together. The shepherds are there, Christ is there, Mary, Joseph, the angels, the wise men, so on and so forth. And they come together in this kind of glorious celebration of God's salvation. There are 3 main themes that I'd like to play for you. So the first theme, I've heard it called different things, but I've heard it called the Incarnation, or the Incarnation of Christ, the Descent of Christ, or the Word of God. And you'll hear that in the pedals and this thundering theme that goes through the pedals. So kind of hard to miss. The second theme that comes immediately after that is called the love theme. The love theme. And the third theme is called Mary's Joy. And it's in this theme in particular that I think you can hear the influence of birdsong. That's it. That one's a little bit shorter. I'm going to play a little bit of the concluding section. It's the ending of this piece is just phenomenal. I don't want to give too much of it away, but there's this very thrilling toccata section that happens towards the end. And in the staccato, you'll hear the incarnation or the word themes continuing to thunder out over and over again in the pedals. So I hope you've enjoyed some of what you heard, and this whets your appetite to hear more. So this recital will be live streamed this Sunday, June 6th at 2 p.m., and I'll put the link down here below so that you can find that link easily. That's this Sunday, June 6th, 2 p.m. And if you're interested in in-person attendance, if you're going to be on the South Shore on Sunday, just send me a message and I can let you know how you can attend the concert in person. But I'd love to see many of you there. Leave a comment if any of this music is interesting to you. Be well, and I hope to see many of you on Sunday.